What's going on, guys? My name is Trevor. Welcome back to the channel. In honor of it being the 100th anniversary, today I'm sharing with you my top 10 favorite Disney animated movies. Let me know your favorite Disney animated movies down below in the comment section. Leave a like, hit that subscribe button, notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. And as we go into this is 100% my list. I'm going to have some picks above others that you definitely won't agree with, but nonetheless, I think these are the 10 greatest Disney animated movies ever to mankind. Let's get into it. And at number 10 is going to be Beauty and the Beast. Belle is my favorite Disney princess. Gaston is one of my favorite Disney villains. I love Lumiere, and I love the music in this movie. And this is the first animated movie to ever be nominated for Best Picture, so that alone is an insane accomplishment. But this movie really hits on the message that, like, beauty's found within, beauty's on the inside. You can't judge a book by its cover. That is basically the main theme throughout this, and Belle loves books, so it's very fitting throughout this. The musical numbers are absolutely great. Gaston is a villain who's just so cocky, and he eats a bunch of eggs, and he's roughly the size of a barge, you know? And Belle is such an innocent princess, and she just sees the goodness in everyone. That's something that's so lovable about her. I think that's why she is my favorite Disney princess. And the Beast is scary. He's terrifying. When he fights Gaston in the end, it's epic. It's kind of like intense. And the musical numbers in this one, from Belle to Gaston, gosh, it disturbs me to see you, Gaston, to be our guest course by course, one by one, till you shout, enough, I'm done. I absolutely love this movie. At number 9 is Mulan. This is one of those movies I had on VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray. It's one of my all-time favorites because of how much I grew up watching this movie, how much nostalgia I had for this movie, from seeing that Mulan went to, like, go and take her father's spot and fight in the army. I mean, it's just so epic, and every time I go watch this movie and you hear the song, I'll Make a Man Out of You, it gets you jacked up. You want to go for a mile freaking run. And Disney always has those hidden messages in there, and it's like, if you set your mind to it and you really go for it, it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. If you set your mind to something, you can accomplish it, and that's exactly what Mulan does throughout this movie. Say goodbye to those who knew me. The musical numbers are great, from Reflection to Bring Honor to Us All to, again, I'll Make a Man Out of You. And Mushu is one of the all-time Disney sidekicks. You gotta love him. At number 8 is Tarzan. I think this is arguably the most underrated and underappreciated Disney movie of all time because we've seen the tale of Tarzan told so many different times. Phil Collins' soundtrack, I mean, he had no right to go this hard because unbelievable soundtrack throughout this, from Son of Man and all these different ones, and just take my hand, hold it tight. You're like, you're crying in the Tarzan movie in the beginning. This kid is being raised by gorillas. What is happening? But Disney's hidden messages here is, again, it doesn't matter where you come from, it matters where you go from there. It's epic, it's awesome, and, like, he wants his dad to love him, and his dad just hates him. He's got those daddy issues throughout this entire freaking movie. It's funny, it has a fantastic soundtrack, arguably the greatest soundtrack of any Disney movie ever. Shout out Phil Collins, and nonetheless, it's inspiring by the end of it. I love Tarzan. Tarzan. At number 7 is The Little Mermaid and all of her thingamabobs. The Little Mermaid's one of those movies that I had not rewatched in so many years, and I find myself that every time I go back and rewatch this one, I love it just a little bit more, and I even love the live-action remake of this one. But Ariel is just someone who wants to see if the grass is greener on the other side. She wants to get out of that shell that she's in, and she wants to go explore the world, because you can't really say you lived in your life with staying in the same spot forever. Ursula, one of the most menacing villains of all time, her and her poor unfortunate souls. And you have Sebastian, one of my all-time favorite Disney sidekicks. The soundtrack in this one's absolutely flawless, and the animation style Under the Sea is beautiful. And Prince Eric, I mean, isn't he just dreamy? At number 6 is Tangled. Tangled's another one of those Disney movies that I feel really is underrated, and it got kind of swept under the rug by Frozen. Everyone had their attention on Frozen, and no one really had their attention on Tangled when they should have, because Flynn Rider and Rapunzel just make for a great love story, and Rapunzel wanting to leave the tower, but she can't because Mother Gothel kidnapped her, but Mother knows best. It just has all these different themes in there, and just a movie where you're rooting for Rapunzel. All the Disney characters, you really root for Rapunzel the most because she's had such a kind of drastic life. And her love story with Eugene, aka Flynn Rider, is one that starts off so rocky, but you really grow with him, you really learn to love with him, and at last I see the light. Breaking us into the top 5, Moana. The tie, the grass, the ground. Oh, that was Maui just messing around. First off, great voice casting. You have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson playing Maui. You gotta love him in that. You have Christopher Jackson, aka George Washington from Hamilton, playing Moana's father. Moana, make way, make way. And I would say this is my favorite Disney princess's voice. I mean, just the way she belts out these songs, from I am Moana to How Far I'll Go. Her voice is mesmerizing. I get chills just thinking about it. And again, it's one of those themes we've seen kind of before, but like, you want to go see what else is out there. You want to explore the world. You can't just stay confined to where you are. You got to go see the world. You got to go become your own person. And she goes on this adventure, finds Maui's giant hook. You take a crazy chicken named Hey. You meet a ginormous crab named Tamatoa. He has not always been as glam. He was a drab little crab once. Finding the heart of Tefiti and fighting Takab. This movie is so beautiful. The animation style is flawless, and you gotta love Lin-Manuel Miranda's touch in there with a little bit of rap he throws into all of his songs. At number 4 is Frozen and Frozen 2. I'm a Frozen fan. My wife loves these movies. I love these movies. I can't wait to show them to my kids. And the first Frozen has one of arguably the best plot twists ever when he goes in to kiss Anna and he's like, if there's only someone who loved you. Oh! He's saying love is an open door, and he does that? Are you kidding? One of the greatest plot twists of all time. Olaf is probably my number 1 favorite Disney sidekick, and the voice cast in this one, I would say, if all the characters combined, this is the best voice cast you have. You have Kristen Bell voicing Anna. You have Idina Menzel voicing Elsa. Jonathan Groff voicing Kristoff. Whoever voices Sven. And you got Josh Gad voicing Olaf. The songs they have in this one from Love is an Open Door, I think this is probably the number 1 Disney karaoke song of all time. To songs that Idina Menzel just shows her vocal range with Let It Go. To Olaf singing In Summer. I love the journey we go on. I love the na 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 hey na. Oh, ah, ooh, ah. This movie has so many things I love about it, and Frozen 2 is a fantastic sequel that lots of people think we didn't need. Lots of people say it was just dumb. Not me. I freaking loved it. At number 3, Hercules. I'm on my way. I will go the distance. I always wanted to play Hercules, mostly just because I had red hair. Just need to get the big arms to go with the red hair. But nonetheless, Hercules is another one of those Disney movies I think is vastly underseen. Not even underappreciated, just underseen in general. Hades is my all-time favorite Disney villain, and a lot of people don't even know Hades is a Disney villain. Pain and Panic are absolutely hilarious, but the story of Hercules is so tragic because like he can't go up, he has to find himself to be a god, and he has to fit in with all these mortal people, so it's very hard for him, but he knows he can do it. He can go the distance. He has to find the right trainer and the right reason to do what he does. And that right trainer is Phil. Philoctetes, I believe his name is. Phil is a fantastic side character, and he teaches Hercules everything he knows. Meg is a great love interest. If there's a prize for Rotten Judgment, I guess I already won that. The action in this movie, the songs in this movie, the emotion in this movie. I love this movie, and again, I said it like 3 times, I'm going to say it again. I love Hades. This is supposed to be getting made into a live-action remake. I'm there for it. At number 2 is Aladdin. Now, Aladdin is my wife's favorite movie of all time. I've seen it probably 30 plus times, so I felt it was only fitting to put it in this top 3 spot. Aladdin is a story from rags to riches with great music, great side characters, and one of the most scary, menacing dirtbag villains in Jafar just trying to take over power as Sultan. Total jerk for that. But Jasmine is a princess who doesn't want to be forced into anything. She wants to be married for love, and she meets Aladdin, who lies about where he came from and nonetheless falls in love with who he is rather than what he tries to make her believe that he is. But you can't talk about this movie without talking about Robin Williams, the Genie. The Genie is arguably the best Disney character ever known to man, period. The way Robin Williams voiced this guy, and he actually voices a lot of characters throughout this movie in Aladdin, but the Genie is just one of the coolest, most awesome, sincere, just great characters with arguably one of the top 5 songs of all time. Never had a friend like me. But at number 1, taking that first spot is none other than The Lion King. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think this is the greatest animated movie of all time. I think this is not only one of the best Disney movies ever, I think this is one of the best movies in general ever. It's based off of Hamlet, and it's just one of those movies that hits you so hard in the freaking feels. First off, Scar. Awesome villain, top 5 Disney villain ever. Second off, Simba, the journey he goes on, unlike anything we've really ever seen before. Third off, Timon and Pumbaa, best side characters really ever. And finally, Mufasa is probably one of my favorite movie dads ever because he's so strong, he's so powerful, voiced by James Earl Jones, and he does everything to protect those around him. He's really like what I idolize to be in a father, where you are always going to be there for your kid and do right by your kids and just try to be there for them as much as you can. And Rafiki is one of those characters I think is so underrated and throughout all the Disney movies. And you're Mufasa's boy. Something on a squash banana. He has arguably one of the greatest and most quoted lines of ever when he hits Simba on the head. And he's like, ow. He's like, what'd you do that for? And he's like, does that matter? It's in the past. But it still hurt. Ah, yes. The way I see it, the past can hurt. You can run from it, we can learn from it. I just rewatched one the other day. My jaw was dropped to the floor. I dang near cried. I got chills. Scar, again, is a great villain. The journey you go on with Simba, Timon, and Pumbaa just makes you realize Hakuna Matata, because in the end of the day, there is no worries. Everything's going to be okay. And The Lion King is my favorite Disney animated movie of all time. Let me know your favorite Disney animated movies of all time down below in the comment section. Happy 100th anniversary to the Walt Disney Company. Absolutely insane. The mouse is my master, and I obey. Leave a like and a subscribe button, notification bell. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.